各位亲爱的观众朋友们，大家晚上好！这里是由星际老男孩斗鱼直播冠名赞助的斗鱼杯 WTL 2024夏季赛季后赛的比赛直播现场，我是主持人陈小兔。那么在比赛开始前，我们要首先感谢斗鱼直播、星际老男孩、biu biu 加速器以及傲风对于我们本次比赛的大力支持。来自世界各地的12支队伍，经过了几个月的较量，最终有7支队伍走到了我们季后赛的舞台上。他们将在接下来的3天里面来争夺冠军的宝座。那相信各位观众朋友们也跟我们一样，迫不及待要看这场精彩的对决了。那首先，先让我们来看一下哪些队伍可以站上我们这一次最高的舞台吧。好的，那我们现在可以通过大屏幕看到我们的一个战队积分榜的情况。从第1名到第12名的所有队伍的积分都在这里。那么我们现在看到排名第7的 PHR8 战队，排名第6的 PSI 战队，排名第5的 SR 战队，排名第4的 TL 战队，排名第3的 WBG 战队，排名第2的 BAS 战队，以及我们常规赛积分排名第1的 VIP 战队。那么本次星际战队联赛季后赛全程采取冒泡赛的赛制，2支对阵队伍将进行大家非常熟悉的 BO2 KOF 的比赛，各支队伍也会根据他们在常规赛当中的排名情况来决定他们冒泡赛的轮次。在接下来的3天时间当中，这7支队伍都将进行冒泡赛。今天是我们季后赛的第1日，总共会为大家带来2轮比赛。首轮比赛将由 PHR8 对阵上 PSI，SR 将在第2轮当中迎接第1轮的胜者，而今天最终的胜者会晋级到明天的比赛中。好的，在了解完积分和赛制之后，想必大家已经迫不及待要看我们的比赛了。但是在我们的正赛开始之前，今天也有一场非常精彩的表演赛会带给大家。我们万众瞩目的星际1对阵星际2的 MOD 鸡霸杯即将来袭。坚守 DKZ 战队的2名老将小色和91将与 VIT 战队的老朋友 CranK 以及颇有自信的 Liquid 领队 Mana 参与。那么他们将通过我们饱受好评的 SC1VO 的 MOD 以败者晋级的形式进行挑战赛。那么4位参赛选手谁会迅速被淘汰呢？还是来争取这个双修之王的称号？让我们一起拭目以待。那接下来把画面交给我们2位专业的解说。
And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the playoffs. So the playoffs of WTL World Team League 2024 Summer. It has been months. It has been a season-long event. So many matches, so many teams rising and falling as well. And now we are here finally after the round-robin group stage in the playoffs. Day number 1 is here tonight. We have plenty of matches coming up ahead of us. But before we jump into that, we have a cheeky show match. Oh, and we have a bracket as well. Oh my god. Do they win chicken at the end? That's a chicken pappy. oh my god, someone called Chicken Man. Oh my god. But apparently we do have a bracket before us. A very nice cheeky bracket. I believe these are going to be best of ones. I don't think we're going to be spending too much time on this. Get off your phone. As we are going to be featuring a show match here between Xiaose, Mana, CranK, and F91. Yo, CranK, let's go. He's got his Vitality jacket, jersey. Beautiful, beautiful. But yes, we have CranK and Xiaose stepping up to the plate, followed by Mana versus F91. For those that are unaware, for those that are maybe tuning in for the first time for a season of WTL, this is just a bit of a pre-show, a bit of a show match before the main event. We do have them every single time. Last season, it was 2v2s with CranK and Rotterdam. I think CranK and Roddy were 2v2 partners going up against Xiaose and F91. This time, it's going to be 1v1s with the SC Evolution mod. So there's an SC Evo mod. For those that are unaware, we've actually been casting some SC Evo events recently on the channel, specifically the HSL and soon to be the SSL. No, not quite SSL. SEL. you know. But we're gonna be casting that in a couple of weeks. But again, this is a mod that does merge some different races from different games. It's gonna be SE2 versus Brood War, basically. Brood War has been adapted to StarCraft 2. I say adaptation because it's not quite a direct copy. There are changes. There are some balance changes made to the Brood War units, to the SE2 units as well, I believe, to balance it and to make it a little bit more fair. It is not quite the exact copy of StarCraft 2 and of Brood War. It is its own kind of slight variation, just to make things a little bit more balanced, actually. And there's been a lot of work behind it, a lot of people making maps, a lot of adjustments being made, a lot of patches going through to balance it as well. And yeah, it's been a lot of fun. It's been quite refreshing, is what I will say. We've been casting it a little bit, and most of it does come down to just how unique it is, and the nostalgia as well of seeing these older Brood War units come into StarCraft 2, see how they interact. You know, we've got like Reaver drop play and Dark Swarm and Plago and all that stuff going on. It's amazing, it's beautiful, and this music is throwing me off a little bit. But are we jumping in? Oh, we have vetoes. Okay. It's a best of 3. I assumed it was going to be best of 1s to like slow things down. We're going into a straight up best of 3 here between CranK and Xiaose. Oh my god. King Sage on station, followed by Tal'Darim Altar and Frost. Okay. Best of 3 that is. Here we go. And should we get some Gamba going? I wasn't going to, but I mean, may as well, Bobby. May as well. Here we go. Let me just quickly try and set that up. Show match. Setting up the show match here as we are jumping into game. Oh, we even have some fun facts here. Oh my god. Wait, let's quickly go over them. We have known as the Magic Terran. This is Xiaose in StarCraft 1 and the King of 2D in StarCraft 2. Excuse me. He offers online tutorials called Xiaose Teaches You StarCraft. Meanwhile, CranK, the leading figure in Korean StarCraft 2, true, the only participant in the show match without a Wikipedia StarCraft 1 page. Oh, StarCraft 1. And he's looking to prove himself throughout the competition. Let's go. CranK, of course, he is near and dear to our hearts. CranK, aka J1 Choi, ex Axiom. He's the reason why we even called the Cranky Ducklings. Where does the CranK and CranKy come from? It comes from this person right here. CranK. Ah, beautiful, beautiful. So it's always a treat to be able to cast the OG himself. And here we go, we're jumping in. In top left corner, we have Xiaose representing the WTL team, SE Boy. And in the bottom right, we have representing Vitality, CranK. As we settle in, a big shout out to C Grail in the chat for the 19th month Prime sub. Thank you so much, C Grail. Likewise, earlier today, a shout out to Kamikaze for the raid during the wait screen, and a shout out to I Stan for subscribing for 20 months. Oh my god. As we're jumping into the show match, and we are starting things over with a proxy. CranK, you said dirty. But very quickly, Xiaose. Okay. 2 minutes, CranK, Xiaose, beautiful. Predictions are now open. Best of luck. Best of luck in the chat. Again, this is on the SE Evolution mod, and the way the SE Evo mod works as well is that one player is forced to play Brood War, the other SE2. Like, you never have Brood War versus Brood War or StarCraft 2 versus StarCraft 2. Never the case. It's always one versus the other. In this case, I believe it is going to be the Brood War Protoss in Xiaose up against the SE2 Terran in CranK. And here we go, CranK starting off with an initial proxy. Now, this is not the most committed proxy, only run racks. Only run racks across the map. The other would be back at home, so a very middle-of-the-road setup here from CranK. Meanwhile, Xiaose back at home, opening up with a standard opener himself, going for the gate into the Cyber Core with an initial Zealot opener as well. Now, again, we have seen some interesting build so far, but I actually haven't seen an SE Evo match on specifically King Sage on station. This is an old school map from back in the day in StarCraft 2. It's been a couple of years since I say a couple. It's been a long time since I've seen this map. The nostalgia. I remember watching this at BlizzCon. Oh my god. Crazy. It's been a long time. But last, we have our Cyber Core. Now we have Dragoons on the way. We have, of course, Dragoon range being researched as well, getting into Dragoon production. Meanwhile, CranK back at home is getting into his factory. Meanwhile, fun fact, ooh, the Reaper does slip into the main. Fun fact, most of the maps in SC Evo actually don't involve Reaper cliffs. because of this. Because of balance concerns, Reaper Cliffs have been edited out of most maps, not all though. We found out there's a handful of maps that do actually have Reaper Cliffs, and with that, one probe goes down, CranK will slip out. But I remember speaking to Hyper One was able to illuminate us a little bit when it comes to some of the balance discussion, and the creators of SE Evo are very tentative about incorporating too many Reaper Cliffs and stuff like that, just because of how difficult it can be for Brutal players or Brutal units to keep up with Reaper early game aggression. Just a bit of a fun fact here as we do get into this, and the Reaper is fended off. Reaper is going to be fended off. We can see that CranK only invested into the singular Reaper, just one Reaper, and is going to be floating back home. We can see that Xiaose is preparing just in case it does dip back in. Robo follow-up expansion here from Xiaose. Likewise, CranK expanding back at home as well. I'm glad to see that CranK didn't commit to like an all-in or committed proxy, especially when it comes to a newer kind of variation of the game. Sometimes you do see a lot of players just cheesing and ending games quickly because they're not as confident in a longer game state. I appreciate that we're embracing a longer game here. Oh my god, this cliff face is so memorable. I remember many a doom drop and many a fight occurring there in the bottom left hand corner, it even top right as well. Was this map active in Legacy of the Void? Was it beginning of Legacy, end of Heart of the Swarm? Or was this in Heart of the Swarm? Again, it's been a long time since I've seen King Sage on station. So good. Here we go. For those that are curious, there are rocks that can get access to the natural base as well, so there can be multiple entrances towards that natural. Likewise, a lot of paths like this one here. Reaper dips in, Dragoons are in position. The Reaper will go down, but does get a full scout of the tech of choice. We can see the bay on the way, and it looks like Xiaose is working towards Reavers. Looks like Reavers are on the horizon here as the bay is about to finish up. Likewise, we do have the observatory finishing up as well. That should be for observer production, of course. You do need a structure for that. And we'll see if we head towards War Prison Speed. If that's the case, we could be seeing Reaver drops. Otherwise, it could just be Reavers to support the main army. See what direction Xiaose does go in. For now, doubling down on Dragoon production. Taking our gases. We do see CranK coming out with some harass. We have Liberator towards the left, Cyclone towards the right hand side. Gonna be distracting, dragging Xiaose away for a moment here, trying to draw his attention. Here comes that initial shuttle. Shuttle is in production. And we haven't quite gone for an upgrade yet on that base, so we're keeping an eye on it to see if we do embrace that. Meanwhile, Liberator main base probes are going to be going down, and again, oh, this is going to be quite a lot of damage. Oh my god! 4 probes going down, and it takes 3 shots to kill a Dragoon. Oh, the Dragoon barely does survive. But, okay, good to know. Good to know that it takes 3 shots. Dragoon does survive. Shuttle's on the way. And I'm curious as to what is made after the shuttle. And there it is. There's the Reaver. Now, again, as I mentioned before, it did look like Reaver drop play, but we haven't researched shuttle speed yet. I think I called it prison speed earlier. My apologies. It's the same graphic, but you know what I mean. War prison speed, shuttle speed, you get it. We actually haven't embraced that yet here, so we'll see if Xiaose heads in that direction. Reaver production has begun. Dragoon's moving out across the map, and we'll see if Xiaose can really break through. But alas, with this siege line, with the bunker as well, it's not going to be easy here to push up this ramp. As CranK is still setting up on 2 bases. Looking at his own production line, he's got his own 311. Observer does get a full scout of the main. So far, Xiaose, yeah, he thinks better of pushing in. Does pull away. Oh, you do love to see it. The Reaver is here. Now, this is where I have to question Xiaose a little bit and be like, have you played much of this mod? Because he still has not researched shuttle speed, which is concerning to me. Like, if we're going to make use of these drops, like, that's a big part and a big, just a big asset here that can be made use of. Likewise, I believe there's also a Reaver damage upgrade. I say Reaver damage, I think specifically it's a Scarab damage upgrade, which does increase the damage output of the Scarabs. We can work towards that later on. Meanwhile, CranK going for his own drop play. Likewise, Xiaose coming in from the right-hand side. The Reaver drop is ready. Only 1 Reaver, bear that in mind. And the Reaver headed towards the main base of CranK. Likewise, Widowmine drop towards that natural. So far, Xiaose does pull away. 2 probes go down. Meanwhile, drop into the main. Goes for the tank. We'll get it. Not bad. Tank goes down, but a handful of SCVs. 2 SCVs do fall as well. Stim might be done, but the shuttle will get away. Not bad counter damage here from Xiaose. I mean, an even amount of economic damage, but getting the tank was a nice bonus here for the Protoss. CranKy's hunting it! He's hunting down the prism! The shuttle even! Up! Oh, barely does miss it. Shuttle does survive. CranK going for his own double drop. And looks like Xiaose is not really incorporating too many Reavers. I think he's got one more back at home. So 2 Reavers working towards charge, going for a more gateway-heavy composition. Templar Archives on the way. The Mind Shot! Oh my god! Mind Shot isn't enough, but the Viking will clean up a big loss here for Xiaose, losing the shuttle and the Reaver. Meanwhile, Mind Drop coming back in. But Xiaose does react in time. Good reactions here from our Protoss player. Dragoons, meanwhile, they're in position. Oh my god, they catch up 2 full Medivacs! Shout, calm down. Oh my god. 2 full Medivacs do go down. Nice catch here from the Protoss. So both players taking some losses here. We lost 2 full Medivacs to CranK. Likewise, Xiaose lost a Dragoon. Sorry, Dragoon. Lost a Reaver and a Shuttle. Meanwhile, again, it looks like Xiaose is done with Reavers. He's like, you know what? These things are too slow. I'm done with them. We're working towards Storm. Storm has begun. I do love the Brood War Storm, like, graphical effects that it has. I mean, we'll see it soon, I'm sure, once it comes into play. It also does a lot of damage. But here we go. So you see Xiaose just trying to patrol, just trying to punish a 3rd base. 3rd is now under fire. Not bad. Going for the CC. Shouldn't quite get it, though. CranK not too far away to respond. We'll repair, we'll hold on, getting into his 3rd. Meanwhile, it looks like Xiaose, his upgrades will finish up. Storm, I mean. And the game is going to settle down. As CranK is getting his 3rd, we have Xiaose getting a 4th. Mind Drop towards the 3rd base. Up! Oh, no retargeting. Just the 1 probe kill. It has dealt quite a bit of damage over time. Yo, this little alcove as well. Like, there's so many, like, nooks and cranny, like just these little areas here that you can, like, hide in, that you can harass from. It's one of the more unique features of this map, of King Sejong. You know, something you don't really see anymore. That's why it makes it stand out. Makes it be rememberable. Regardless, gonna be calming things down. As we just saw, again, it is only 1 Reaver for Xiaose. He's heavily reliant on Storm instead. Likewise, that also means that EMP is going to be that much more effective. To kind of translate this to, like, I don't know, an SC2 perspective, heavily relying on Storm, of course, without any Colossus, without any Disruptors, can be a little bit concerning. I'm concerned that heavily reliant on this Gateway army for Xiaose can work against him, especially if CranK is going Ghost Heavy. Speaking of, storms are coming in. High Templar. Oh, did you get a big storm? Oh. And CranK a little bit late to respond. A lot of Marines go down. That was a good chunk of CranK's army. Meanwhile, Dragoons coming in. Likewise, Reavers. No, the Reaver! No! Get out of here. I'll be honest, I don't think Xiaose cares about his Reavers. I think he was a little bit disappointed with their initial performance, and he's kind of done with them. Meanwhile, drop in towards the natural. Gets a handful of probes, not bad. CranK dipping away. 2 probe kills. Meanwhile, Xiaose just mass expanding, taking another base. Oh, nice EMP on the High Templar. Oh my god. And this is what I was concerned about. That was 3 High Templar going down. The Reaver as well. Very nice target firing. All it takes is a handful or even just 1 EMP. Meanwhile, CranK coming back in, gets eyes on the 5th. Won't quite delay it, but does at least distract the army. Oof. These drops do get away. Likewise, Xiaose thinking of a Sky-Toss transition. There's a Stargate. Working towards the Fleet Beacon, working towards carrier production potentially, as the game goes on longer. As we are going to catch a couple of workers here. A couple of probes going down. Likewise, good EMP on the Zealots. But the CC is under fire. And the CC is going to go down. Oh my god. Dragoons do so much more damage to buildings than Stalkers. Like, I mean, I guess it's balanced because their rate of fire is a little bit longer, but... Aye. And CC does fall. Likewise, CranK hits the right-hand side, going for the Nexus. Alas, won't be able to get it. Gets 10 probe kills, but the army does respond in time. CranK is load up. Get out of there. 3-2 on the way. Advanced ballistics. CranK going towards a Bio Ghost Liberator composition, which again should work quite solid against what Xiaose is working on. Meanwhile, Xiaose still has yet to embrace Skytoss. Is getting there though. I believe that Fleet Beacon is on the way. But just the one Stargate for now. So even if he does start working on carriers, it's going to take a while for them to really come into play. But Xiaose is maxed out. It's like, now is the time for a carrier transition. Now is the time for like 3 more starboards. Stargates even. Xiaose is not ready yet. Moving on the right-hand side, knocking down those rocks. CranK is aware. We'll be able to respond. And Xiaose just bleeding off some units. Opening an attack path, distracting the main army. DTs that hit the left-hand side. Oof, and those DTs are going to get a lot of damage done. SVs are going down, main army pushing in. CranK is out of position. Uh-oh. Completely out of position, and does he commit? Another CC's going to fall. Massive, oh my god! Massive storms on the army. A late reaction here from CranK, and the main army does go down. Xiaose, he's ecstatic. Let's go. The reaction shot. Xiaose is going to be pushing in, pushing himself up the ramp. This is a little bit ambitious, and reinforcements can clean this up. That's going to be close. Yeah, Archon's going to fall, drop across the map. Yeah, Xiaose losing a bit much here in this counterattack. I don't think this was quite necessary. The DT harass and the push, the catch on the right-hand side was good enough. Yeah, Xiaose bleeds off a lot of units. Nice cleanup here with the storm. Oof. And there it is in the end. CranK, he does run out of steam. He does tap out, and Xiaose takes game number 1. GG. I mean, again, he had a massive bank behind it. He had, what, 1,000 minerals in the bank as well. And CranK just felt like he was a little bit too far behind there, which, I mean, you could argue. You could argue. Regardless, GG. GG, well played. Yo, is that Maxed? With the Doyu? Let's go. Wait, is there a new WTL gift box? Did I miss the new WTL gift box? Uh-oh. Not like this. But regardless, oh, I should fix that up. There we go. GG, well played. Xiaose does take the first game. And as a reminder, this is a best of 3. Best of 3, Xiaose was able to rock his Brood War play. Now it's going to be CranK playing Brood War instead. Now, whether CranK plays Protoss or Terran, that's what I'm curious by. Something that's really interesting about all of these players that have been competing in this kind of format, in this kind of mod, is that they do actually change races depending on whether they're playing Brood War or SC2. We've seen a lot of players like Psyarch, for example, play Brood War Zerg and play like SC2 Terran, for example, and mix things up. Same with 3Point, he was playing around a little bit with Brood War Protoss and SC2 Zerg and mixing and matching. So yeah, I'm curious if they're gonna maintain their races or switch things up. Here we go. Of course there is. Is it already closed with the new WTO gift box? I completely missed that. When was it released? Oh no. Try to look it up. Regardless, here we go. We're getting ready for game 2. Game 2 is going to be on Tal'Darim Altar. Okay, and Frost. I'm hoping for an ace match. I'm hoping for some Frost action. Cut that out of context. As we're getting into game 2. As WShow just tweeted, the bracket is loser advances? No shot. Okay. Thanks for letting us know. Just catching up. Are you missing the bottom right thingy? What bottom right thingy? Oh, am I missing something? Oh. They made me a map. Aye. Alright, let's go. Let's jump in. And in the top left-hand corner, we have Xiaose playing, Zerg. In the bottom right, we have CranK playing his main race, Protoss. Okay, so CranK has switched from SC2 Terran to Brood War Protoss. Meanwhile, Xiaose switched from Brood War Protoss to SC2 Zerg. Yeah, so this is what I was curious about, if they're going to be switching races depending on which iteration of StarCraft. Now we have the answer. Now we have the answer. But loser advances? That's crazy. Okay. Also, I apologize for the audio. I saw some people talking about it earlier, but yeah, the audio for the clean feed or for the stream in general that they're providing us, it's kind of weird. It's it feels, yeah, awkwardly balanced a little bit. It sounds like maybe a little bit too much bass. It sounds really crisp as well. It's a bit weird. Anyway, 4-player map. Let's go. Players are scouting. CranK does confirm. You can see workers moving all around the map here. It's something you don't see too often. Oh my god, CranK going for the cannon rush. Up, he doesn't wall off. Up, does he? Oh my god, just barely. Whew. Barely does get the full wall up and running, but the pylon is quite low. Yeah, the pylon is going to be targeted down. The forge is done, and CranK, can we get those cannons going? There we go. Cannons are on the way. And this is how you play Protoss. None of this macro, none of this making Dragoons, Stalkers, getting up to 2, 3, 4. No. Cannons, papi. Let's go. Now, that pylon is going to go down, but again, the surface area on these cannons is quite low. Pylon does fall. Ooh, actually, I say that. Not bad surface area in that first cannon. But yeah, it's going to be too much. The cannons, they will finish. And then within range of the expansion, this hatchery is going to go down, and Xiaose is locked into his main. Behind this, Xiaose getting into his gas geyser. Roach Warren has been thrown down as well. So eventually, Xiaose will break out. But the question becomes, what is CranK going to have back at home? Does he go for a Stargate Void Ray response or a Robo into Immortal? Should be Stargate. Yeah, as the hatchery is going to go down. Finally, a tournament format I can win. Oh, no. Ay. Not like this. As there we go. Back then, we have a safety cannon. We have the Nexus on the way. CranK has yet to commit to any tech. I mean, the Cybercore did just begin. And Xiaose is stuck on one base, investing into roaches. Now, this could be for a Nidus worm. We could go into a lair, into Nidus, into a one base all in. We could just morph in these roaches into Ravagers and breakout. I mean, honestly, there's not that much that CranK is working with, so a Ravager breakout does seem quite viable, but it's all about what Xiaose can do from there. Does he expand and re-expand, or does he commit to an all-in? Meanwhile, I was curious if CranK was going to go for Immortals or for a Void Ray. We have the answer, Robo. So it's going to be Immortals. Alright, sorry. For some reason, I just assumed that CranK was SC2. My bad. I have to recalibrate the brain. Oh my god, my apologies. Is going for the Robo. I imagine a Reaver follow-up. That would make more sense, so my apologies. No Immortals here. Oh, does scout the backup base. You know what it is? The cannon looks like the SC2 cannon. We need to distinguish. For those who don't know, the Brood War shield battery, the shield battery made by the Brood War race, does look different from the SC2 shield battery, which I appreciate. So I would like it. I would like him to be a little bit more distinguished, personally. Meanwhile, it looks like Reaver drop play. Okay, so we're going into a shuttle into. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say shuttle into speed. That is, of course, Dragoon range on the way. But we should be looking to get into some robo aggression. The bay is done. And Xiaose double expanding. Meanwhile, there is that initial Reaver. So CranK is going to be harassing with those Reavers. We'll see if he can fare better than Xiaose. If you remember, Xiaose was able to get 2 SCVs and 1 tank. Is this Tal'Dorei Molter? It is. Hello. Oh my god. Caviar Napoleon. Marquises. Acampado. And there's the upgrade that Xiaose never researched. War Prison. I was going to say War Prison Speed. Shuttle Speed. Shuttle Speed is on the way. So with that, this shuttle is going to have a little more micro potential. Do appreciate it. CranKy knows how to play Protoss. Cannon rush into Reaver drop. He knows, Bobby. He knows. He's crazy. He's cracked. Let's go. The shuttle is moving out. And we'll see if Xiaose can recover. Again, he only made a handful of Ravagers. Enough to break out. Enough to re-expand. But it's not over. It is not over yet. This CranK is going to be rotating. Ooh, oh my god! the splash damage on the Reaver, it's crazy. Cleans up most of the Lings, but is spotted. And Xiaose is aware, does come in for the intercept. Warp isn't, oh sorry, shuttle speed is not quite done. It's not done! Oh my god, the shuttle! 5 seconds! The miles! Oh my god. CranKy's crazy. There we go. Shuttle speed does kick in, and we be zooming. The shuttle does get away, but does not get into the mineral line. Does not get in. Additional shuttles, sorry, additional Reavers on the way. Shuttle does race back. And looks like the game may just calm down from here. Sure, the cannon rush initially was successful, but Xiaose is doing a great job at recovering, at redroning, resaturating. Still not looking ideal, but slowly catching up. I feel like a lot of this is going to come down to the Reaver control and the Reaver potential for damage specifically. Like CranK can pop off with this harass. So far it's been a little bit unsuccessful, but he's moving out. Meanwhile, there's the Scarab upgrade on the way for increased Scarab damage. As CranK is continuing Reaver production. Rotating over. Go for the Queen. Okay, good to know. 2 shots kill a Queen. Good to know, Pappy. Meanwhile, Lazy get across the map, going for this round. They do catch a Dragoon, not bad. And not a bad pick-off. 1 Dragoon goes down. Scarab shot's going up. Oh, yes, this is not SE2. We cannot lift up from range. And 1 Reaver goes down. The shuttle a little bit too far away. So nice catch from Xiaose. May have taken some Reaver shots to the face, but did not take any economic damage. And really lost the Queen, lost the Ravager. Negligible losses. Xiaose is recovering. Another Reaver coming in. They're so slow. Oh my god. Someone help them. Should be able to, like, put them on the backs of Dragoons. Just can't, I guess what an Immortal is, I guess. Reavers are moving out. CranK pushing forward. Again, that shuttle is still very low. Oof. Yeah, shots are going off. Massive connections here on the Lings. Dragoons are going to get surrounded, though, and again, they cannot blink away. A lot of them do get locked down. Yeah, the Reavers do fall. Now only Dragoons, but the kiting is good enough, and most of the Lings were cleaned up. Lings did fall. But CranK is going to pull away. Not really feeling too confident without that shuttle. As the shuttle is being remade. Third base getting up and running. Xiaose holds. Does hold. CranK reinforcing. Xiaose is still stuck on Ling Roach Ravager. No Baliness, no Hydra transition. Now we see our tech of choice. It's going to be the Spire for Xiaose. Spire into Mutas. I mean, Mutas can pop off here, especially if they go unscattered. I'm curious if CranK is going to back off and macro up and tech up, or if he's going to try and go for a second wave. But as we can see, we're waiting for Charge, Temple Archive, Storm. This does tell us that Xiaose is going to have time. Oh. Reaver shot going up. Getting a drone. Oh! Oh my god. Jesus. The leash! The shot goes so far. 4 drones going down. Mate, watching that Reaver shot is something else. I love how they animated and how they coded that. Like, the reverse shot itself, it feels like it did like a loop before it went across and like connected. 9 drones go down. Good damage. We're not done. We're going back in. Oh my god. And again, oh, the drones are stacking. They're so stacked. One more shot. 10 drones so far. But yeah, the Scarab is so erratic. Oh my god. And again, once it locks on, it just keeps going. It doesn't stop. Behind this, CranK taking a 4th base. Now, as fun as this has been, and oh my god, that's a juicy connection. 5 drones go down in 1 Scarab shot. As amazing as this is, no scout. We don't get into the main base, we don't scout the tech, and mutas are popping out. Mutas, they will shut down the shuttle, they can harass across the map. So far, still unscouted. As 5 mutas are on the way. CranK securing his 4th. This base looks so awkward. It's on the way. CranK rotating. Mutas are revealed. Now CranK knows. He's now aware of the mutas. He's going to try racing back home. This shuttle, it's not going to make it. And can we get a shot from the Lings maybe? Oh, actually, Xiaose, he doesn't chase. Doesn't chase. The shuttle does make it back, surprisingly. That's a lot of High Templar. Oh my god. That's like, what, 8 High Templar? Jesus. That's a lot of Storm. Oh my god. Okay. We have 1 Archon on the way. As CranK has been building up a death bull of an army. Xiaose has some potential. I'm a little bit surprised that the mutas haven't tried to harass yet. They haven't tried to dip into a mineral line. 6 more mutas on the way. Greater Spire in production. Xiaose's maxed. Getting ready for Broodlords of all things. But we're a ways away. As CranK is gaining ground. Xiaose, likewise, I imagine trying to drag the army out into the open for a better engage. But I'm not so sure we can with all these storms. Like, we're very Ling Muta heavy, very light on Ravagers. More mutas on the way. I'm not entirely convinced by the mass muta. It has potential, but we'll see. As we're going for a storm drop, no drones though, no saturation. There are 2 High Templar in that prism. Sorry, in that shuttle. You know what I mean. They're going for the mineral line. Up! And there are the storms. Yeah, 5 drones going down. Not bad. Shuttle gets away. Oh, as that Mutaflock has gotten quite high. But again, it's so risky. A couple of good storms and Xiaose's army is going to melt. But CranK is out of position. Xiaose going for that right-hand base. CranK unaware. This could trigger a base trade. The Observer does hold the movement on the mutas. It's mainly Ling Muta. Here we go, CranK pushing onto creep. Oh! Roaches respond. Jesus, and yeah, Xiaose said he goes to the bases, goes to the mineral lines. Oh my god, massive storm on the Lings! So many Lings go down! But what about the mutas? The mutas, that's the real problem. As the mutas are going to be able to dip in, go for the mineral line, probes are going down. And CranKy races back home. Oh, it's going to be 13 probe kills, and even more than that. As we've hit critical mass of muta. And again, I feel like in a head-on fight, CranK can take it here to Xiaose, but the mutas are just, yeah, poking in, hitting the 4th base, hitting the 5th, dipping into the main. And CranK is having a harder time keeping up. He's trying to go for a Skytoss transition. Double Stargates, +1 air attack. And there's still no answer to these mutas, as they're getting even more done. I'm curious if CranK is going to go for Corsairs as an answer. I know Scouts have, I guess, splash damage as their anti-air attack. I think it's splash damage. We'll see. We'll see what he goes for. For now, catching out the Zealots. Yeah, Corsair. Makes sense, makes sense. Corsair's on the way. Up! Oh, the Prism gets caught out. That's 2 High Templar. Once again, a massive catch. CranK getting pulled apart. Not like this. Oh, like, oh. Okay, we're good. Clean feed. Clean yourself up. It's too dirty. Catching a free Archon as well. Going for the production, going for the Stargates, and we catch the Corsairs. Yeah, 1, soon to be 2 Corsairs going down. Ay. Again, this entire time, CranK, he's been wanting a main fight, but he just can't get it. The Roachling is, for the most part, trapped. Not going to be able to escape. But that's going to be 2 Stargates falling. 2 Stargates, the Nexus itself. Looks like we're going to be able to hold him to the base. CranK does save the expansion. But the mutas, they just keep going. Oh! Decent storm. But the mutas do evade. And CranK, he's all in. He's going for a big all in, a big counterattack across the map. Storm once again zones away. Oh no, High Templar! No! The High Templar get caught! Not like this. Both High Templar full, and CranK just doesn't have much left over. Behind this, Xiaose remaxing with Ultras. Ultras are on the way. We have the token Swarm Host. Let's go. Love to see it. Oh no, the reinforcements. The army. And yeah, we're coming in for a surround. Mutas from one end. Oh my god, the storms are crazy. Half the mutas go down. They're very softened up. But alas, CranK doesn't have much behind this. Still has another storm in the chamber though. Has to make it count. Pushing forward. I mean, CranK does have a bank. Oh, there's a Swarm Host. Let's get out of here. No, the High Templar, no! 2, 3. 3 High Templar go down. Only 2 storms. Ay. Again, the High Templar are the backbone of the army for CranK. Without any storms, these mutas, they can have free reign. Oh, the High Templar coming in. And Xiaose rotating, getting another base. Nexus goes down. This expansion is so isolated, so difficult to defend. And CranK cannot get there in time. He's attempting to get back into Corsair production. Zelarambe is going to get a base. Okay. Gets an expansion. CranK is actually restabilizing here. I didn't realize just how little or how few drones Xiaose had. Down to 69. Nice. I mean, it's kind of nice. It's not ideal. Oh my god. Reaver shot's going off. Oh my god, we locked down the mutas! The storms! Oh my god! Very nice. CranK, he's popping off! Xiaose, send it, Papi! Keep going! Keep going! Locks down the army with the storm! Send it! Don't slow down. As CranK is max and Xiaose, again, he cannot keep up. I mentioned earlier that I was a little bit surprised by the low drone count of Xiaose, and now that's coming into play. Xiaose doesn't have the money to remax, is still doing so. Keep going. As CranK, he's taking a more defensive approach, waiting for reinforcements. This is giving Xiaose more time to rebuild. Getting into Ultras, the token Swarm Host is still there. There we go, now CranK pushing in. We have Wall of Spines. Oh no! Spines are getting caught out. Very limited crease spread here. Yeah, the Spine Force is gonna fall. Mutas trailing behind. Catching a free Ultra. Not bad. Ooh, these are 2-1 Ultras. They only have +1 carapace. They're melting. The Ultras do have kindness plating, but yeah, the upgrades are not ideal. Here we go. Xiaose commits. He does push in. Ultras from behind. High Templar exposed. But the storms. Oh my god. Massive storms on the army. Can the Ultras break through? They barely are. They're barely breaking through. There's only one Ultra left. And the Ultra is going to go down. Yeah, CranKy barely has enough. It looks like we're forcing an ace match. CranKy shuts down the mutas, shuts down the mineral line. GG gets called, and CranK, he forces the ace match. Let's go. We're going to game 3. GG, well played. Xiaose was in the driver's seat for a lot of this game, was doing so much with his muta ling harass. That is true, but again, his economy was what was failing him there, is what I will say. Is again, we were stuck in a low drone count. That meant that once there was that one slip up, once Xiaose lost all those mutas, he could not rebuild, he could not remax. Also, his tech was a little bit all over the place, if you remember. He went for a Greater Spire early on, but then went into Ultras. Even though he was working on Ultras, he only had +1 carapace as well. He had +2 meta. Like, his upgrades weren't really lined up for proper Ultra play either. So, in other aspects, he was falling a little bit behind. And, yeah, with his mutas getting caught out, that was it. That was GG. GG, well played. CranK does take it, and now we're going to game 3. We're going to be getting into Frost. Let's go. Let's go. Let us go. That was cool. That was cool. Oh my god. Talking about the muta moments. Here we go. But yeah, the in-game sound sounds a little bit lower as well than usual. Hold on. I'll bump it up a little bit on our end. Okay, we're good. Here we go. And now we're jumping into the ace match. It all ends here. It all ends on Frost. And as a reminder as well, as you mentioned earlier, I believe it is loser advance. Loser does advance on, not the winner, which is crazy. We're here for it. We're here for it. Let's go. The other thing as well, for those that are curious, who plays Brood War and who plays SC2 this time, typically they flip a coin. They flip a coin to determine who is able to pick which race they do wish to represent here in the ace match. They've both taken turns. And I wonder, where do we land? Where are we headed? But so a little bit of RNG involved, a little bit. But we have been able to see Brood War and SC2 win matches so far. But it's been a long time since we loaded into Frost. Frost out of the 4-player map, I believe. And here we go. In the bottom left-hand corner, we have Xiaose for SC Boy. And for Team Vitality, we have CranK playing Brood War Terran. Okay. Interesting. So, Xiaose once again rolling SC2 Zerg. He's rolling SC2 Zerg 2 games in a row. So it looks like he was able to pick StarCraft 2. And CranK is going to be whipping out Brood War race once again. But this time, Terran, not Protoss. Okay. Interesting. Now we're loading into Frost. Frost was an ex-SC2 map many years ago. It is a 4-player map. Because of this, the players are unaware as to their spawn locations, and we do have to initially figure out where exactly we are and how the game will progress. Now, we're going to be getting cross spawns, so we could be here for a while. This is ideal for a much later game, as, of course, they are quite far away from each other. A lot of space, a lot of bases in between them as well. Close spawns could trigger more aggression, more cheese. Here we go. But yeah, I do kind of miss the 4-player map dynamic. You would see players gamble and proxy in the middle of the map. They would proxy in the middle and then scout with an extra worker so they can like direct their aggression and direct their proxy in a certain way. And if they scout too late, then it kind of falls on its face. Likewise, they could get scouted earlier on as well. Like there was just so much going on. And so much, I guess, it was a little bit more chaotic as well. And we did eventually get rid of that in SC2. But here we go. It is going to be a 3 racks opener from CranK. Okay. Interesting. It is going to be 3 racks Mass Marine. Meanwhile, we do see that Xiaose sent out 2 workers. He's drone scouting on the right-hand side. And I believe that's an Overlord on the left. Yeah, Overlord on the left, drone on the right. And Xiaose will confirm that there is no Terran. So now, by the process of deduction, is aware of the cross-spawn location. Meanwhile, Academy is on the way. And CranK should be working towards Stim. Again, 3 racks, Mass Marine, I imagine. And Xiaose, Hatch Gas Pool, Standard Opener. So we're getting into our openers here. And typically what this means for CranK, for the Terran player, is that we're working towards a Stim timing. Going to be building up a heavy Marine count early on, working towards Stim. There we go, Stim is now on the way. And we'll see if Xiaose can recognize how much danger he's going to be in, and how safe or unsafe it's going to be to drone up. As this Stim timing is going to hit like a truck. Meanwhile, CranK now is aware of the location of Xiaose, moves in with the SCV, does confirm. Meanwhile, CranK keeping those Marines hidden. I feel like I get more bases in mind from on full-player maps too. I don't know if that's true though. It isn't even just the full-player maps, but in recent seasons, the maps, it feels like they're getting smaller. Like, I could be mistaken, I have to look into it, but I'm pretty sure Eternal Empire and Romanticide were much larger maps than what we have at the moment. Same with Greswan. Maybe not, maybe a little bit less so Greswan compared to Alkione. But it does feel like maps have gotten a little bit smaller over time. But here we go. Again, Stim is now done. CranK is moving out across the map. He is scouted. He is spotted in the center of the map. Xiaose is aware. Queen should be moving forward. He has safety bailings on the way as well. And this bio push shouldn't get much done. There is one fire bat leading the charge, but we go for the Stim. We go for the Queens. Bailings are coming in. Nice start stepping. Oh, the control! Let's go! Fireback goes out. We bait out one Bailey connection, but alas, this army is going to be cleaned up. I mean, that's stutter stepping though. CranK, calm down. He's cracked. Likewise, the medics hoping to try to soak some of those Bailings. They will somewhat. Bit of a misrally here from CranK. And alas, he has to turn back. Xiaose defends. And now Xiaose can embrace his 3 base economy, still making extra lings, potentially getting ready for a counterattack. So CranK still holds the center, still holds his Onaga. Ooh, actually, my apologies. I was waiting for the drones. Xiaose heavily supply blocked. 3 overlords on the way. Big misstep here from Xiaose. Was a little bit distracted. That's 4 overlords. A laser, is that you? No. 5 overlords. Oh my god. That's a lot of overlords. So a heavy supply block is going to slow him down, and Xiaose, he's making more lings. Yeah, still staying on a low drone count. 20 more lings on the way. Looks like it was maybe a little bit scared from the aggression of CranK. Behind this, CranK just embracing more bio. Meanwhile, a shout out to Icegar. Fala galera, papi, fala galera. Obrigado. Thank you so much for subscribing for 29 months. That's a lot of months, papi. That's over 2 years. Thank you. Thank you. We appreciate the support. As welcome, we're embracing a bit of a show match. I think there was some people asking earlier about WTL and when it would start. WTL was scheduled to start in an hour, but we are first starting off with a show match. This is a pre-show to World Team League. So we're starting with a show match between some of the casters, some of the personalities, As we see CranK getting into tank production. If you're curious what that upgrade is, that is Siege Mode. Siege Mode is being researched. Something that we haven't seen in a long time. Again, it's so nostalgic. It's like, back in the day, tanks, they had to learn how to siege. It's crazy. Now finishing up. Meanwhile, Xiaose embracing Lingbane Hydra. Again, Xiaose's position isn't ideal just because he was forced to make a lot of units. He was supply blocked, so Xiaose's droning has been interrupted quite a bit. Doesn't have the best economy coming into the mid-game. Meanwhile, CranK moving out with a secondary force. Taking both Zelnagas, at least attempting to. But Xiaose does spot this. Preparing his links for a counterattack. CranK doesn't have much at home to defend. He's moving out. Uh-oh. Yeah, CranK is out of position, but there are some reinforcements back at home. The Marines are surrounded. Yeah, the Marines, they get shut down. Boys are being pulled, and this is a lot of damage. CranKy doesn't turn around. It's too late. He's too far out on the map. CranK is committed. Ling's going for the academy. CranK rotating towards the south. But Xiaose, again, he's been staying on a low drone count. He has a lot of Lingbane waiting for him. And still so much lost mining time. Here, tanks are sieging. Slowly pushing forward. This position is brutal just because of how narrow that choke point is. It's so narrow. It's so difficult for Lingbane to engage without a surround. But CranK is getting caught out. No! Yeah, he gets caught out. Oh, massive alien connections. And CranK is going to be cleaned up. Not the best position. Yeah, the Marines a little bit too far forward. And Xiaose defends. And CranK was pretty committed. I'm just now realizing he has no third CC. It's just now on the way. Very late third base for CranK. He was basically 2 base all in. And in the end, that push was a little bit blundered. Xiaose behind us. Building up. Working towards a hive. Getting a 4th base. Getting up to 3-base saturation. That's not a laser. It's a space station. God damn it. That's just what went into my brain when I saw your comments, Setsuna. God damn it. I'm not ready for a night of casting. Right, we're settling in. As we do see, I guess because the map is so large, because the map is so big, Xiaose isn't really able to counterattack. Despite having a nice lead, despite claiming a really large army and shutting CranK down, is still droning up, is re-establishing his bases. Now Xiaose has the time to drone. Getting up to 80 workers, an ideal worker count now. And CranK has had time to recover, but needs more time, is the reality here. I mean, this is how committed and how all-in CranK was. This 3rd and 4th are heavily delayed. And Xiaose is about to max out. He's about to max. Four Vipers on the way, and this is going to be a tough hold for CranK. Basically, CranK has to turtle. He has to turtle as hard as possible. As best he can. Tanks are sieging up. Should be seeing bunkers on the way. Bit of a rough move command from Xiaose. Bleeding out some Banelings and Hydras. Being run by the right-hand side. Well, CranK did throw down that science facility earlier. You ready with the Eradicate? Irradiate even. Oh, as I say that though, we do collapse on the reinforcements and Marines are going down. Medics as well, and again, CranK just didn't have much to work with. You know, after the failed all-in, has been struggling to recover. Yeah, the bio goes down. Oh, nice catch on the Hydra. Once again, the move command. Oh my god. Xiaose. Not like this. And with that, CranK will clean this up. Okay, not bad. Once again, token swarm host on the way. You love to see it. The sign of an SC2 player. Let's go. Veteran SC2 player. As, yeah, CranK didn't take the worst fight there. Was able to clean up most of the army. Able to hold. Xiaose now moving out with Vipers, and it's still going to be difficult here for CranK to recover. But if he can take another good fight like that, another 2, maybe even 3 good fights, then he can stabilize. Until then, Vipers coming in. They go for the abductions. They don't quite get the science vessels. Oh, yeah, Radiant's going to be thrown down. Hydra's taking a lot of damage, but there's still just so much Ling Bane on the ground. Despite that nice spreading here from CranK. Will survive the initial wave, but the tanks have fallen. And Xiaose gets into the mineral line. As I say that though, CranK, can we clean this up? Just barely. Yeah, just barely. Again, the abductions from Xiaose were lackluster. Abducted like all the science vessels and none of them went down. Really, it kind of helped because it got them within range to irradiate the main army. Vessels did survive. More on the way. Xiaose now building up 7 ultras. That's a lot of ultras, papi. A lot of ultras. Ay, ay, ay. I see someone asking in the chat, is this SE1 and SE2? Yes, yes. It's a specific mod. Just to reiterate once again, this is a show match. Welcome to the pre-show of WTL. Irradiate on the ultras. Oh, not bad. As the vessels do manage to get away. But this is a mod that does incorporate both races. Both games, I should say. Both modes. There you go. But alas, Xiaose is breaking on through, getting to the mineral line. The SCVs are going down ultras. They break through the front lines. And finally, it looks like Xiaose has enough to break on through, get on top of the main army, takes down the medics, and is going for the main. And there just is not enough to hold on, not enough to defend. Yeah, there's the power bombs. GG gets called. And Xiaose will take the series 2-1. GG. GG, well played. Will take the series. Not the cleanest of matches, but it was great to see some of the older maps. Great to see Frost. Great to see King Sage on station. It was a blast from the past. And Xiaose will take the first series here. But as a reminder, we have a bracket. And again, I was shocked to see that it was a full bracket and it was not best of ones. I don't know if the SE boys planned correctly because a best of 3 bracket like this can go on for a while. I'm pretty sure WTL was scheduled to start now. It's not going to start for another hour, papi. Like, at the rate that this is going, we're going to be here for a while. As we're getting ready for our next show match. For those that are curious, it should be Mana versus F91. Or unless they're spreading it out. Unless they're spreading it out throughout all 3 days. That would make sense, actually. If we have one best of 3 now, and then the other tomorrow, and then the other on day 3. That would make sense, actually. So, I'm curious if Mana versus F91 is going to be played out now or tomorrow instead. It's one match a day. Yeah, there we go. There we go. One match a day. I assume so. Whew. So with that, congratulations to Xiaose. But I believe CranK advances on into the next round. And now it's time to get ready for the winners interview.
赛后采访环节，我们非常遗憾的要采访到黄哥了，因为根据我们鸡霸杯的赛制规则是败者晋级，然后作为胜者，黄哥就要暂时告别这个舞台了。
很遗憾我被淘汰了，希望明天孙哥加油。
那黄哥觉得这个 mode 玩下来如何呢？
这
个 mode 其实挺好玩的，因为之前出的时候我就一直在玩，然后本身自己以前也打星际一的嘛。然后在新吉尔的这个引擎下面，然后打星际一的这些兵种很有意思啊，很有意思。今天后来第2盘输给CranK那盘，感受到星际一神族好强大。
Did you know that shuttle has a speed upgrade？
不管在星际一还是在星际2都挺硬霸的。
不，星际一更硬霸。
哎，那黄哥的话，你作为中国星际教父，刚刚也是对阵到了韩国星际教父，你觉得韩国星际教父的实力怎么样呢？
他没什么实力啊。
哎，请把这段话翻译给他。那明天的话，孙哥将会对阵到 Mana， 你更看好谁晋级呢？
我觉得孙哥晋级不是板上钉钉的嘛。我觉得孙哥希望你夺冠吧，兄弟开路虎了先。
好，我们鸡霸杯的冠军很有可能就会是孙艺基。好的，那我们的表演赛到这里告一段落，我们休息一会儿，一会儿有精彩的正赛带给大家。
Okay, with that, we are going to be getting ready for our first match here. Up next is going to be Storm Gaming versus Platinum R8. Again, for those that are just now tuning in, it has been a long season of World Team League. It's been months in the making here with the round robin group stage, and now we're here to kick off the playoffs. Tonight is going to be 2 matches, Storm Na'Vi versus Platinum R8 into Team Liquid. Then we have tomorrow's matches into the final day on Sunday as well. Looks like we have a 7-minute break. When we come back, we'll have our first best of. See you soon. See you soon. Take this moment, get some snacks, get some water, stretch your roaches, hydrate your hydras, massage all of your marines individually, and get ready for a night full of StarCraft. See you soon.